Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning session. It is your wholesaling, lease options, marketing, and mastermind session. My name is Gil, and if you can see the screen clearly, I needed to get the recording going on, right? So it took me about a second or so there. I thought it was not going to go through, but we are live. So fantastic. Do me a favor, guys. If you can see the screen clearly, you guys should be taking a look at my screen here right now. If we aren't already connected on Facebook, please go ahead and add me on Facebook, especially if you are part of our group program or if we are currently marketing for you. I am active on Facebook, and if you guys do need to get a hold of me, one of the best ways is to go ahead and send me a message on Facebook as well. Now, we do need to be contacts on Facebook, so just a heads up, if we are not already directly connected on Facebook, the message may end up in the spam box. So just a heads up there for those of you that are sending messages and if I have not replied. All right. While we wait for some of the confirmations to come in here this morning, we'll go ahead and touch base with some of our panelists and our regulars. I'll give you guys a recap of some of the items we covered last week and an update of some of the training sessions and topics that we are going to be covering this week. I am going into a new market. I am actually going to be partnering and coordinating with some of our members and subscribers that are part of these live sessions. They are going to be wholesaling virtually in a new territory. And I will actually be the buyer in these transactions, picking up these wholesale deals, these rental properties, and hopefully some awesome and some new rehab projects. So let me go ahead and touch base here with our panelists, see how things are going on their end. Bill, how's it going? What's the latest?
Hey, good morning, Gil. How you doing, man?
Good morning, good morning. Doing good. How was your weekend?
Hey, it was great, man. It was a good weekend. No
Fantastic.
question about it. The
Awesome.
Derby was yesterday. Correction, Saturday. The Kentucky Derby was Saturday. That was great. California Chrome won, man. A horse from California. First time since 1962.
Oh my goodness. I know Bill loves his sports and his weekend action, but glad to hear. Bill, any questions coming from your end? I know you're working with a couple of the students, one-on-one, helping them on their deals, consulting on some, joint venturing on others. Any particular questions that came in over the weekend that you wanted to address or cover here for the group before we touch base with Steve and some of the marketing that's been going out?
Yeah, one unique strategy that we're using. We feel like it's going to produce some results. What we did is one market we pulled 140 expired listings, and we made several calls to agents. So we're going to be calling the agents and exploring the possibility of either buying the property with cash or doing a lease option on these expired listings. The thing we're doing, Gil, is we're offering the agent a leasing fee up front and a 6% commission on the back end, and we're coming in as principals only and not participating, in the fee. One of the students I'm working with is licensed, but he's going to be acting as a principal only. So the listing agent gets to keep all 100% of the commission, and we're going to act as principals on the deal. So we had some interesting calls with agents, and we're going to be following up and doing some more in a couple of days. Along with, we were also working for rents and also for sales. So, we're moving forward on some things. We got one that said yes on the lease option, so we're going to be putting that transaction together as well. But the point to the group is if you have access to the MLS and you can, work the expired listings, I mean, that's a good strategy to use in order to pick up some additional deals with agents. Back to you.
Nice. Now, just curious, Bill, a couple of clarifications on here. It's funny you guys are just pulled an expired list. about 2 weeks ago, I've been looking around at a couple of different markets and uh, also building, compiling a database of expired listings that we can call on and either talk to the homeowner or the agent. Now, depending on your local MLS, there are fields in the MLS that the agent can fill out, providing the contact info for the homeowner. Now, here in LA County, it is pretty rare, right? That's because it's a very competitive marketplace. And so agents and brokers tend to add extra layers of protection. They don't put that information on there so that it prevents people from circumventing or trying to go around them on a perfectly good and fair transaction that they have put together. But in other markets, you can and you easily find or get access to that type of information by partnering with a local agent or broker. They can send you these expired listings that you can call on and make offers. Like Bill mentioned, the agent it's a win situation for the agent, right? Because they get to keep and they get to make the commission, which they would have otherwise lost, right? These are properties that have sat on the market. Nobody has offered a fair price enough for the homeowner to take it, right? Maybe the area got hit real bad, or somebody just lost their house on the block, which is hurting the home values there in the area, right? The homeowner gets the property filled. We, as the investor, the middleman, the deal negotiator, or the principal, call it what you want, make some money in between. Now, for the buyer, they get their dream home. They get to transition into home ownership, and instead of paying rent, wasting it down the drain, they are able to move in and have a portion of that amount that they're paying monthly go towards purchasing the property. And so, excellent and really good feedback to hear, Bill. We're actually going to be rolling this out in one of the newer territories that I'm going to be talking about here this week. Can you give feedback as to the turnaround time? Because it sounds like they just started calling on Friday. They were able to find somebody interested by Saturday, and now you guys are in the process of structuring a deal. Did it happen that quickly? Have they been calling for about a month now? What's the type of turnaround time once they started calling and being able to make these types of offers?
Oh, you're asking me, Gil? Yeah, we just started calling on the agents, but the key is on the agents is once there's two ways that you can handle it. Either you can have the agent discuss it with the seller and see if they would be open to that, or just go ahead and issue a letter of intent laying out all the terms and conditions, send it to the agent, and then have the agent present it to the seller. And then if the seller is ready to move forward, you can come in with full-blown agreements. Now, when you're dealing with expired listings and you're dealing with agents, you can't use the one-page marketing agreement. It just doesn't make any sense for that strategy. What you need to do is you need to go in with a full-blown lease and a full-blown option agreement. But we don't usually lead with that. We simply lead with about a 3 or 4 page letter of intent that lays out all the terms and conditions in plain language. It's easy to understand. It's easy to do. You can do a letter of intent once you get the numbers in probably 30 minutes or less. So it's an easy strategy. So you find out what the seller's asking, as long as it's reasonable. You add your option fee and rent credits on top of that, if that's the way you're structuring it. And then you get the address and the contact information from the agent, fill out the letter of intent, and then you send it to the agent. Now, it's a very specific letter of intent that's strictly geared to deal with agents and expired listings. So, we have a whole strategy that we developed over time to use that. Now, if you're dealing directly with the owner without an agent involved, then you can use the normal marketing agreement and your normal FSBO type strategy. So it just depends on what the strategy is. In most markets I've found, they don't include the seller's information in the MLS for the reasons that you stated. So it's the same way in our market. You pull an expired listing, it does not have the seller's contact information on the MLS. It only has the agent's contact information. So anyway, that's the way you do it, Gil, and it works pretty quick. So you simply, if you get a good feeling from the agent when you talk to them, then get the information you need, draft up the letter of intent, email it or fax it to the agent, and let them present it to the seller and see if you can move forward on it. Back to you. Now, the way the agents benefit on this, especially in a place like California, where the average rent's $2,500 a month, is we give the agent, we build it into the deal that the agent gets as a fee up front the first month's rent. So if the first month's rent is $2,500, if the seller's willing to do the deal, once we find a tenant buyer, then that agent gets $25 upfront cash, paid to their brokerage. Plus they get the money on the back end for the 6% commission, and we build that right into the letter of intent, both for the leasing fee and the commission. So if it's in California, if it's a $400,000 house, they get $24,000 on the back end, and they get $2,500 cash up front for a deal that they've essentially lost because the deal expired. So it's like found money for the agent on expired listing, and so that's why they're interested in working with us, and why you're going to pick up some deals that way. Back to you, Gil.
Nice. I have found that agents are more motivated when you're calling on the expired or the aged listings, 90-day, 120 days, 180 days. The older, the more motivation there tends to be, right? Because the property is just sitting there. The agent hasn't got paid on it. Chances are they're either going to get fired or, the homeowner knows the agent's tried everything in their power. It's out of their hands. They may be happy with the agent. It's nothing personal, right? It's just the house is still stuck there. Now, instead of just renting the property to somebody who is here today, gone tomorrow, has no vested interest in the property, why not have somebody rent the property, okay, but with the intention of buying it? So you get the best of both worlds. You get an extra layer of protection and due diligence, for the homeowner to have all of their big rocks covered. They get their price, they get somebody great in the home, and they get less headaches overall, right? Because you're not going from becoming a one-time landlord on one single property where the numbers don't pencil out. You're not making the big bucks as a landlord on one deal, right? It's when you have 10, 20, 30 multiple properties that'll make it worth its while dollar-wise and headaches-wise, right? So this is a type of offer or strategy that you guys can look into. I will be giving you feedback on how our campaigns are going to pan out, since we are going to start calling on realtors, agents, brokers in this new particular area or territory that we are going to do deals in. We're going to introduce ourselves as buyers and that we are looking for transactions that we can close quickly. Now, my ideal outcome is to have a deal within about a week pop out from this pipeline from calling agents and brokers. If there's a high volume of agents in the area, then I got a good chance of doing that. If competition is going to be really tough, where there's quote unquote no inventory, then I may have to wait a little bit, right? Either way, I'm going to need an agent in that area so I can kill two birds with one stone. I start to build a relationship and familiarity with some of the agents in the area, right? Because they're going to be skeptical too. Is this guy the real deal? Is he really going to buy some deals here in the area? But as we continue to follow up over time, we're slowly going to start to build more trust. We'll slowly start to build some credibility with them. And if I don't do a transaction with that agent, then I'll be doing it with somebody else. And that tends to provide additional motivation, or at least, I don't have to spin my wheels on trying to sell them on doing business with me, right? Because we're going into a new territory and we're tackling it, and I'm going to be applying the same walkthrough or strategy on the video series that we've put together. So with that in mind, Bill, awesome little segment on there on expired and FSBOs. Let me welcome everybody again back into the session and just give you guys some big updates. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just one more thought on it is, and here's how a way that you can really monetize. Suppose you're talking to an agent that doesn't happen to have a listings or doesn't happen to have any listings that would fit, in the category that you're looking for, either a seller willing to take a big discount or do a lease option. But if that agent has been around for any length of time, they know other agents in their offices, and they know other agents in other offices. And so what you want to explain to them, you go, look, how would you like some free money? And they go, well, what do you mean? Well, listen, what we're looking for is properties that we can buy for cash or sellers that are willing to consider a lease option. And if you find another agent in your office or another office that has a listing ready to expire or a listing that's been languishing on the market for 90 or 120 days, we can help them move that property. We'll put the whole transaction together and show you how to present it. We'll go ahead and structure it where you get at least half of the leasing fee up front, and you get 3% of the commission on the back end that's built into the listing price for a co-op listing. So a property that they don't have to show, that they don't have to hardly do anything except just present an offer to the listing agent. They could pick up 3% on the back end when the tenant buyer exercises their option, and they can pick up half of the monthly rent on the front end just for putting us together with the other agent. So, I mean, they don't have to leave their office to do this. This is free money. They don't have to spend their time, don't have to spend their gas. And we're the buyer, and we'll go ahead and step in and put the whole thing together and show them how it works. Back to you.
Absolutely. And again, when you start out, you may not find an agent who's jumping at the chomps to try to do business with you. They may be a little bit skeptical. That is okay. Like any marketing campaign, let's be realistic here. Half to majority of the leads you will come across will either be sitting on the fence or not interested, or you've been prejudged and they don't want to do business with you. Okay. There is always that one person in every batch of marketing that whether you say something or you don't say something, they are willing to do business with you. They need your help. They are in distress. They are motivated. They're just looking for somebody to sit down with and show them where to sign on the dotted line, right? I know with the Robert Sheeman Group, you guys focus a lot on doing volume offers, right? 100 offers in a short amount of time. Somebody within that 100 offers would be very interested, right? You just have to go through the activity of making the actual offers. Okay, so excellent tips. Do check out the replay. And speaking of replays, we're actually relaunching the main website that is going to house all of the replays, the training session, the content for our 9 a.m. sessions. Okay, as always, all replays will be posted on learntoinvestforfree.com. All our 9 a.m. sessions. Some of you guys have subscribed to the YouTube channel. We are also updating the new YouTube channel today. So by tomorrow, we'll have a new channel for you guys that you can subscribe and check out the original 9 a.m. session replays. Some of you can make them live, some can't. You actually can view the session on your smartphone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android. There is an app that will allow you to join the GoToWebinar sessions. Okay, you can also see the screen provided you download the application and you have the right plugins installed. I think, based on my experience, you just download the application, click on the webinar link that you're looking to join, and it automatically opens the screen if there's anything to show or slides during that session. So definitely do check that out. All right. So for those of you that are just brand new and getting started, learntoinvestforfree.com will house all of our replays. Right now, if you go to the main website, what you will find is the video series that we've put together for you on how to get started wholesaling. And all the video series, the entire video series has been transferred over. So let me kind of walk you through it so you get an idea of the videos, how to access them, and the topics covered. This video series is something that Bill, myself, and a bunch of other wholesalers and content providers had put together. This was done shortly after I generated over $140,000 in a 90-day period wholesaling in Los Angeles County, just the LA County. We documented and put together everything from step one, right? Answering the question, what in the world is wholesaling? Okay. Now that you know what wholesaling is, maybe you're wondering who this guy is at all. And so I put together videos sharing a little bit about my background and my story, a short version and a long version. Depends on how much time you have and how much info you're looking to go through on that day, all right? But assuming you care, nothing about that, you want to just jump into the intensive training, then the first thing you need to know is where to start your marketing, because not all areas are fantastic, right? You talk about downtown Los Angeles, hey, a lot of demand in that area. You talk about middle of nowhere mountain range in middle of nowhere outside of LA County, nobody's interested in the middle of nowhere territories, right? So you want to focus in your marketing where you know you have cash buyers that are interested, right? Where you can actually flip and monetize, get a return on your investment from your marketing and business lead generation. Okay. After you've picked out your territories, you will need to know what type of lists you can market to. Okay. Do you want to market absentee, landlords, vacant properties, out of state owners, inherited probate type of properties, code violations, different type of lists. We walk you through a sample list that we generate here with properties that fit the wholesaling strategy where you're looking for equity. If you're doing creative financing or a lease with an option to buy or cooperative lease options, depending on the strategy you're implementing, then you are targeting properties with limited to no equity. Okay, there are ways to structure deals off of property that are upside down, but I recommend that you stay away from those first unless you have a consistent deal pipeline, because you will need somebody to consult or partner with you on the deal who has experience in that field, right? Somebody like Bill Rafter or the other advisors and coaches that you have access to as part of your program. Okay. Now, once you start your marketing, you're going to wait for some phone calls to start coming in, right? When we drop marketing, we tend to get calls the following week or within about 7 to 15 days, depending on how far or what areas we are sending mail out to. Let me touch base with Mr. Steve Clutch, who is spearheading the accountability portion and the live Talking to Sellers series. Some of you are brand new to this series. Welcome. We do have webinars Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you're part of our group coaching program, you do have access to our live leads training where we actually call on sellers, buyers, cash buyers, agents, and process our leads. Steve, we launched some direct mail for you recently, some in your backyard, some in some virtual markets. How's it going, by the way?
It's going good.
Excellent, excellent. Did you have a good weekend? What'd you do? It was relatively quiet on your guys' end. I'm hoping you had a restful weekend, maybe got some work done. What's the latest?
Yeah, got some work done on the website. Hung out with some friends. Yeah, just kind of low key, but it was very good.
Okay, cool, cool. So, feedback on some direct mail. We launched some direct mail for you recently, and some calls started coming in. How long did it take from when the mail was dropped till the calls started coming in? Because it's starting to get consistent. You're getting one call here and there. I think 5 came in on Saturday. What's the feedback on turnaround time for your direct mail?
What was the day the mail was dropped? I forget. It was like Wednesday or Thursday, right?
Wednesday, yes, actually Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at the latest. But I know they were officially mailed out come
Yeah,
Wednesday.
so it took a couple days, 2 to 3 days, which is pretty normal.
Okay, all right, cool, cool. So a couple of days from direct mail. Other marketing that you can do is text marketing, email marketing. Guys, you can just pick up the phone like Bill said and start calling on some of these expired listings or aged properties and leads. And by then, you're dealing with a more motivated or more educated lead since they've sat on the marketplace, right? Steve, hang tight. I'll put you on mute here in a minute, and we'll transition and talk more about the virtual market that we are going to launch here, right? But while you're waiting for your marketing, guys, don't just sit around twiddling your thumbs, not doing anything. There are videos on here because once you start talking to your sellers, you're going to need to learn how to pre-screen them, what to say, how to say it, the questions to ask, so that you can determine a suspect from a prospect, right? Somebody who you can genuinely help out, do business with, and put some money in your pocket in between, as opposed to somebody who is not motivated, does not have a problem. And if they are not motivated or have a problem for you to solve, you bring no value to the table. And in the end, there's no way to monetize that, right? Or at least very limited unless you sell the lead off to somebody else, but it's a dud lead to begin with. Now, you may just end up following up with that homeowner because if they're not interested or the situation says, not right now, not ready, they may be in the future. We opened escrow on 2 deals last week. one of which was a homeowner that we have been following up with for a good 8 to 9 months now. And absolutely no reason to sell during those 7 to 8 months. On the ninth month, he was diagnosed with diabetes. He needs to have an urgent operation and is looking to sell the property here fairly quickly, right? So at least follow up with your leads. Now, how to fill out the documents and samples of documentation, that's been put on here for you guys as well, so that you can practice putting pen to paper, okay? Walking through the documentation, understanding the different line items, how to explain it, how to interpret it, and what to fill in the blanks, okay? These are sample paperwork that I have used, whether here in my backyard or doing it virtually in another area, okay? Now, the videos are about 45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half. Some may be longer, some may be shorter, okay? But we do have Frank, who has been gracious enough and spent time going through these videos, itemizing what topics are covered in the video, so you can zero in on those, all right? We are updating the main website. I believe our subscribers will get access to the shorter segments of the video so that they can zero in on that training. But again, in the meantime, I think this is killer and awesome for somebody getting started, or if you're building out a wholesaler or a bird dog network so that you can educate your network, your bird dogs, your property scouts, and they can line up better deals, higher quality, and less competition, since they're bringing it to you directly, as opposed to a traditional wholesaler who would pump that out in the marketplace, and now you're competing with every cash buyer on their list, okay? Now, in addition to the documentation, well, I'll move forward here in the video series, right? What do you do with your Craigslist leads and ads? How to market, how to build a database. We do address Craigslist in detail as part of this series, since I have personally done deals off of Craigslist, along with the investors that are part of our program. We do like Craigslist. We encourage people to get started or apply Craigslist, whether you're brand new or a veteran in the industry. Craigslist does provide leads and good value for our real estate business. All right. So moving forward here, right, let me keep walking you through it. And again, the documentation is done in step by step, right? So if you have a wholesale deal, you'll need to fill out a purchase agreement. If you're doing a creative financing deal, then there's a sequence in filling out documents. You don't need to fill all of them right now. Like Bill mentioned, right, on his little ninja strategy earlier, you're not going to use a marketing agreement. You open the conversation with a letter of intent. That's the very first document you'll need to fill out and send to the agent. After that, there is another document that you'll fill out. But there's a sequence of documents that you need to fill out, and the video series does go through that here in step by step. You don't have to worry so much about the other documents that are going to follow or that need to be filled out in the transaction. Don't freak yourself out with step number 10 if you're still on step number 2, right, in marketing and lead generation. Start your marketing first, all right? The paperwork, all that good stuff, you can either find somebody to consult on the deal, you can partner with a local investor, you can bring the deal to the whatever real estate program you're a part of and have them help you structure it, or you can find some investors like Bill Raft or other real estate consultants who would be happy to consult on the transaction or partner with you on the deal, right? Providing the documentation, the expertise, and Bill actually goes on these calls with you to help put them under contract, which I think is pretty awesome and unique. There are some supplementary videos. For example, we have open question and answer sessions. We talk a little bit about goal setting. And again, pre-screening, virtual markets, things to look out for, right? And so, yeah, this is it is a comprehensive, we wanted to put this together based on you being able to either launch your wholesaling operation as soon as you watch a video, or be able to add some of these marketing channels. Let's face it, some of you guys are already closing multiple deals. You want to double your production, you want to add new lead sources, and that's what we're here for, training and providing the additional lead channels that you can add to your business. Yes, we cover bandit signs. Somebody here was asking it. We even take you through an order process on bandit signs. So again, Zillow, Craigslist, yes, it's covered on there. Even how to get county records from your local courthouse, right? You can buy it from ListSource, Listability, and other list vendors. I am actually supposed to purchase a list here today, so that'll be part of my accountability session here as I open a virtual market. And HUDs. I talk a little bit about HUDs as part of this wholesaling series, since the HUD home store is a another deal source for us, right? And zero marketing costs. You can get started bidding on HUDs as soon as you find an agent who can start submitting your bids. And these are property that you can wholesale in other markets, right? And you can do this virtually. Now, if you are in a Southern California market, it is highly competitive. I think the last time I looked at it, there was maybe like a couple of listings. Like you can count them on your hand in terms of properties investors can bid on. But in other markets in the Midwest, right? It does provide a healthy and consistent pipeline of deals. Sean Terry actively wholesales HUDs on a regular basis, and that in itself has provided their business with a ton of wholesaling fees. I think there was one week where they cleared like six figures just on HUD properties wholesaling it, and so we do talk about HUD there as part of that series. Tenant buyer questions, and yeah, so comprehensive. If you go to learntoinvestforfree.com, this will house all of our replays. You do have access to this video series, and let us know what you think, right? Definitely let us know what you think. The site is under construction, but you can start accessing it, and there's other information on the site that you will be able to open up throughout the day and moving forward as we update some of these items on here. Any questions or clarifications with regards to those items, let me know, right? Let me know. Let me take a look at our roster. We do have a couple panelists. I'm not sure. Is this Mr. Henry on his end? Mr. Serrano, is that you? Or we do have a panelist on here with no name. I have you unmuted if you want to do a mic test real quick for us. Right. Okay, so that will go through updates of Shakina. I do see your hand raised. Good to see you on the 9 a.m. sessions. It's been a while. I think the last time we spoke was at the York. We met locally, sat down with you and your business partner on some marketing, shared some documentation that we use to wholesale here in the county. What's the latest on your end? I'll try to unmute you. You have your hand raised. Not quite sure if there's anything urgent we can review there for you, right? So do that. Chime in whenever you can, Shakina. If there's anything urgent, that's what these sessions are for.
Hear me?
Hey, Shakina, how's it going?
Oh, shit.
Whoops.
Good. I'm sorry. My hand was raised. But
no worries.
everything's. We're currently finishing up calling a list that got us last week.
Okay.
So I guess I've pretty much been doing it. So I'll finish that today. And I've actually got a few callbacks.
Nice.
So, and I've talked about, I don't know, maybe 10 sellers. So it's going. I mean, I think it's a Craigslist, of course. And it's just interesting. And then I've actually kind of encountered a couple of investors that I've talked to that actually want to partner with us.
Nice.
And so they said that they're definite buyers and they're also sellers. So they said they like to tap into the network, and so we'll see how that goes.
Excellent. What type of list are you calling on? Sorry, I missed it.
List for here in California or LA County.
LA County? Okay. Expired, Craigslist, top secret source. You don't have to mention if you guys are. Awesome. Are you guys launching any direct mail marketing or any outbound marketing? I think the last time we sat down, we talked a little bit about marketing channels that I would personally go into given the marketing budget. Are you guys launching any paid marketing, or you're going to go through some of the free channels first? What's your update with regards to that?
Well, we're mostly going to be going the free route right now because we really don't have any marketing dollars.
Hmm.
We do definitely want to start experimenting with bandit signs.
Got it, got it, got it. Awesome. Okay, very cool. Anything urgent we can cover while we have you on the session here? Anything particular you wanted to point out, or other than that, business as usual?
Well, I actually had a seller call me back on Saturday, and he wants me to make an offer today.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pull some comps in a little bit after the session and go from there. And I don't know, maybe bring it to you guys, see what I can do because I'm not quite sure.
Okay, got it, got it. Now, normally with a homeowner, and because I know what territory you guys are trying to do deals in, I I like to schedule a face-to-face appointment with the homeowner, at least make an attempt to, and here's why. We may not go on the appointment, we may call it off, but at the very least, I always encourage people in the same marketplace to schedule an appointment because it does pre-screen or test the motivation of the owner, right? Are they just shopping around for a price? Are they genuinely interested in selling? And by going for the appointment, I find that we are able to determine or at least get a better idea if this guy is truly motivated and what he is looking to do. And at the appointment, I would be there. I bring either one of my listing agents or my contractors out so that we can do repairs, and we're prepared to. We do bring documentation if they are ready to sign on the spot. Now, my worst case scenario when I go out to an appointment, if they do not accept my 10, 20 cents on the dollar offer, which is perfectly acceptable given that this is a Southern California market, then I would refer them to an agent who can help them get top dollar or list their home. Now, if you're a licensed, I think you guys are licensed or in the process of getting licensed, right?
Well, I just passed my brokers on in March, so I'm waiting for the license, and Ivan's waiting to take or get an exam date right now.
Awesome.
So
Great, great. So with that, it does open you guys up to splitting commissions, or being able to get compensated by a licensed agent or broker there in your area without having to navigate, or walk through a minefield, for example. So, since you're going to, you would be at the appointment as the principal, as the cash buyer, you can refer it out to another listing agent or broker so that they put it under contract, list it, sell it, and split the commission at that point. You're dealing with homes that are, half a million, 800,000. So even a percentage of that, right, should easily put you guys in a good position to generate a marketing budget. Now, somebody here did point out, I think it was Steve, since he's helping out with the outbound calls. Out of 30 phone calls, you talked to 10 homeowners, which is pretty good. Actually, that's great from a conversion standpoint. Any particular
no,
objections you guys are getting asked or stumped?
it was actually 15. It was 10 out of 15 that I ended up talking to.
Oh, 10. Okay, so you got halfway through the list. So that works out even better. 10 out of 15, you're two-thirds out of that whole list. Are you getting any particular objections that you're coming across or that you're taking note of?
The very first thing I always get is, "Are you an agent?" And it's funny because right now I'm not because I don't have a license number yet,
Mhm.
so I'm saying no. And they're just kind of like, "Oh, thank goodness, I didn't want to talk to an agent. They cost too much." That's always
Interesting.
the thing that I've been getting, and so it's funny.
Awesome. So knowing that, right, I would adjust my conversation psychologically. I'm expecting to, I if a homeowner doesn't ask that question, and if I've heard it enough from other homeowners, chances are that's sitting in the back of their mind. So during the conversation, I would actually bring that up and say, you know what, a lot of homeowners in the area are actually, prefer to deal with investors. I'm not sure, or prefer to deal directly with the buyer. I'm not sure if you're looking for an agent or, do I have to talk to an agent or can I make the offer to you directly? Since I'm the one that's interested in purchasing the property, I'm the one that's interested in building out my rehab or my rental portfolio, right? And If they don't bring it up, it gives you an opportunity to, again, demonstrate that value, address an objection that they have in their mind, and convert it to an appointment. So I would recommend trying to set the appointment to retest the motivation and find out whether or not they are serious. And that's interesting you mentioned that. Some of the homeowners that I've talked to recently prefer to talk to a licensed agent, right? So it's all different depending on the marketplace that you are doing deals in. Any other notable items, questions, or objections that you've taken note of from your outbound calls?
Um, no, that's about. Usually they're like, well, why do you want to? Why am I asking all these questions about like, tell me about the property, like what's the, square footage, blah blah blah, and they're just kind of like, well, didn't you see the ad? And from what I've been experiencing is I'll just say like, well, I don't have the ad in front of me right now. So, and I've been calling a few of them. So if you don't mind, I could just take the notes right now since I do have you on the phone right now. And then they're just like, oh, okay. And then we'll talk, whatever, what do you want to know? And then they'll just like start talking.
Nice,
So,
nice. I like how you address that, right? And you almost want to, hey, sorry I interrupted you, type of feel, and now they start coming after you and are more open to talking. Steve says that is ridiculous. Yeah, and again, that is pretty good, right? You're talking to two-thirds of the homeowners that you're calling on that list, so great practice at the very least in talking to homeowners. Somebody here is typing in, where can we get copies of the swipe files? If you should have gotten an invitation to our Facebook only group. I'm sorry, our members only group, and that's where you can download some of these swipe files that I mentioned earlier. The tenant buyer script, marketing agreement, checklists, and a sample of the actual yellow letter that we use is on here as well, right? There's nothing crazy or fancy to it, very simple and straightforward. Do print this letter on a yellow pad paper, okay? Yellow pad paper, forget the color of the lines, but it doesn't go on a blank sheet, right? You do print this out on the pad paper. So just a heads up there. Let me go ahead and make sure you guys have an access to the link. And John, Cato, and Brian, business partners, looks like they're coming out of the same office. I'm glad you guys messaged me. If you are trying to get into the group, we do manually approve each member. We want to make sure it's not a robot, it's not a spammer based out of China selling Nike shoes, posting ads every 10, 15 minutes. And so we do check each profile. Want to make sure it's we keep the integrity of the group and keep it content rich and friendly, right? So I replied to some of the questions that came in over the weekend. Go ahead and check those out. But great news, Shakina. Hopefully, you guys do line something up here pretty shortly for us to purchase from you directly. And yeah, keep us updated on the progress. All right. Okay, so on my checklist, new website announcement, where to find the replays, done. Following up on a new area. Okay, cool. So where am I personally at on this new market and territory? Last week, I shared with the group that we've identified a county as a new area we're going to start farming out and doing deals. It's a new territory, and so I pulled a bunch of relevant zip codes based on the training in what areas to market, right? That's video 2. And because it's a new area or territory, I called and Googled other agents and brokers in that area. I looked for someone that is investor friendly and who would be willing to, or is open to do building out a long-term relationship, right? So they know my intention is to build a rental portfolio in the area and to find rehab deals. And so in exchange, right, I am requesting that they review my zip codes to verify that I am spending my marketing dollars in a good area. Okay. I want to go fishing in the in the portion of the lake that has all of that fish, or at least a high concentration or a school of fish, so I can catch something, right? I don't want to be sending out direct mail in an area that is not in demand or in the middle of nowhere where there's no action. Otherwise, I spend good money on a list. I buy my letters. I send them out. And if I do have a homeowner interested in selling, I don't have a buyer to flip it to, right? Or as a rehabber, I don't have an exit strategy at a good after repair value, since again, it's not an area in demand, whether for retail or for cash buyers or landlords, right? And so they have sent me an email here, and we've been corresponding back and forth on the territories. And let me see if I can pull that up for you guys. Once again, if you are live on the session, if you have any questions, go ahead and type it in. I am currently launching here some direct mail. And so today, our goal is to finalize. It should have been already finalized, but we are waiting on one big thing, which is MLS access. So at the very least, we are looking for somebody that can give us feedback or data on pricing, right? Pricing, what offers to make for the homeowners. And so I'm not licensed, obviously. I cannot get access to the MLS there directly. But we are dealing with a licensed broker, so we just need to make sure that somebody in their office can take my call or can take my team's phone calls when they call and say, "Hey, we have a homeowner willing to accept interested in an offer. What is our cash offer to them?" Now, some of you are wondering, why would they be giving you a number, or why would they even provide that type of information for you? Is because we're looking at doing multiple deals. They know that. I want to build a long-term relationship. And when we do rehab the home, we are giving them the opportunity to list the property. Or once we get the property under contract, we are giving them the opportunity to partner or on the deal, and they can sell it to their buyers and make a healthy fee in return, right? So let's see where we are on this list. Getting a lot of phone calls this morning, not quite sure, but if it's urgent, you guys know how to get a hold of me. I've been getting a bunch of telemarketers here all throughout the weekend. And so, yes, to build the list, watch video 3. I won't be ordering it live on the session, but I will share with you guys once I have purchased the list today. Again, this is a new territory that we are going into, but I do have to buy the list today in order for us to get marketing out this week. Mr. Steve Clutch here may have found somebody. Steve, any updates with regards to our point of contact on MLS access? I know you guys are using that too. We are partnering with you since you guys are going to be virtual wholesaling deals over to us in that area. But you said you have somebody with MLS access, or we'd be willing to give us the numbers we need and intel?
Yeah, well, one of one of the local guys in one of our virtual markets is an MLS expert. So I told him you were going to be, buying and rehabbing in that area. So he has a friend or knows somebody. So he's gotten access and is going to start working the MLS for deals. I haven't talked to him about getting the list or anything, but somebody is working the area right now. From what I've heard, the MLS access is really tight in that area, and they do a lot of IP research as far as user bases as well. So it's a little tricky, but if you can get it, it's good.
Yeah, I'm getting similar feedback as well, and I think, well, it's taken. We're spending about 5 days so far just trying to get the MLS access, and some areas, like you heard Steve say, are harder to get access into, or they're very restrictive based on the IP address. They want to prevent people from simply giving out their usernames and passwords and logging in, because agents and brokers pay a good amount of money in fees to their association and to the multiple listing service, or the MLS. So they don't want people abusing that or making it unfair for those that are using their service and well within their terms of service, right? Again, what I'm looking for is a licensed agent or broker who can help provide me with intel and info on what numbers, where the numbers, what the area is doing, and basically say, "Hey, Gil, offer this price, and it's looking like a good rehab." Steve, Now, one of the things that we're going to be coordinating with you is getting you a list of expired listings in that particular territory, so you and your team, or at least your office and all the other virtual wholesalers in your program, can start calling on some of those leads and teeing it up for us to buy or get under contract. So I'll be getting that to you here today. Any feedback on some of the other leads that we've sent your way in your other territories?
No, everything's been good so far. Actually, kind of has had some good luck with some of the leads that I sent her from the group coaching, and I've been talking to a lot of agents from Craigslist already. So yeah, so the expired shouldn't be. We haven't started working the expireds yet, but we got them, and we're gonna start hitting those. So anybody
Awesome.
that's in the coaching, just let me know, and I'll cut you a list.
Okay, perfect. So great news there. Glad to hear that. And so somebody is typing, Gil, did you post the replay where you placed a paid ad on Facebook? Yes, I did. And the Facebook video series is a 3-part video. And one is the introduction and overview of how it works. Part 2 is where I place a paid ad. Part 3 is where I review the ad, see how it's doing, and I tweak it so that we can get better conversion. I did do custom audiences, right? And that is one of the aces up our sleeves on why our pay-per-click campaigns on Facebook do a whole lot better. So this week, I'm going to set up a sample. I'm going to walk through it, setting up a fan page, setting up a paid ad for the fan page, and you guys can use this training for your own We Buy Houses companies or whatever type of strategy you are promoting. You simply have to just change in the titles and the keywords. Now, what does that mean? If I build a fan page on building or a rent-to-own strategy, and I'm targeting tenant buyers, right? Your company may be focusing on We Buy Houses. So just change the marketing, just change the keywords, just change the theme, but you will follow the same process in getting your ad set up or getting your fan page set up there correctly. So do look out for those. How many units are you planning to send out? I am starting out with 2,700 units to start out in this new market, in this new area. And you will hear some of those live calls on the group coaching session, right? So definitely check that one out. Anything else here from the group? Mike says, Gil, do you have any boots on the ground in Kansas City, Missouri? I have a spreadsheet of 9 off-market rental houses from a retiring landlord through an agent I'm working with who got it from another agent who has the pocket listings for the properties. Sounds like there's a lot of people in between there. Just taking note of it, not saying that's good or bad yet, right? We need to find out. If that is a brother whose sister or whose uncle has the listing, then great. If we're talking all third parties in between, then my first question would be, what value are those people in between providing or doing in order to get paid as part of the deal, right? You hear about daisy chains or wholesalers that would co-wholesale the property. All they're doing is just adding their wholesale fee on top, bumping up the price and screwing off and messing with the values, right? It screws up the numbers at that point and the ROIs. So do look out for that. Seller will own or finance. Mike, what's the best phone number for you? We do have somebody in Missouri, Trans Home Solutions. I'm not sure if they cover Kansas City. I believe their office is dialed in right now. If you guys are interested in this Kansas City, Missouri lead or deal, type it in. Tony Wade says we do. Mike, to our section 8. Awesome. Okay, Gil, I'm not able to swipe fast for the Facebook marketing series. The Facebook series hasn't gone up yet. You'll have to watch the videos step by step. There aren't any swipe files for the Facebook campaigns. It's just a walkthrough. There's nothing to copy, paste, or enter in there. We cover all of Missouri. Mike, I am providing your information to Trans Home Solutions. Mike has a 9 deal package or lead. Call him if interested. And if you guys have a best can be reached number I can provide for Mike, let me know. And that way I can provide the business contact number and not any personal numbers that is part of it on there. All right. So with that, guys, this week we'll talk paid marketing again on Facebook, all that good stuff. I will be opening a new area. So we'll be talking about some of the marketing that we've launched there, how we are converting, how many letters do we send out in order to get a property locked up, all that good stuff. And this week as well, we are going to continue our series on credit repair. Broker Julio will be on the session giving some tips on how you can use credit repair as a lead magnet or providing content and value to your network. Gil O, thank you again, by the way. Just recorded a video with Gil O putting together so that he's building a local wholesaler or bird dog network in his area. So if a bird dog network or property scout network is definitely something you are interested in, maybe you have not started building this pipeline for whatever reason, let me know why not, right? Because I built a network of over 700 people using just Craigslist, advertising and placing an ad on Craigslist for people who are interested in getting started in real estate, making some beer money, weekend money, part-time income, full-time income, different things, right? Basically people that are interested in finding and sending us vacant houses, boarded up houses, or sending us deals, right? So overview of how that works, since I will be reviewing that this week as well. It starts with a Craigslist posting an ad on there. You have a website very similar to learntoinvestforfree.com. They go through the training and you build your list. Make sure you have a CRM tool like Podio so that they can enter and send the leads to you, or at the very least, they can email you these properties so that you can take a look at it. What I love about this strategy is that it is very minimal from a marketing cost standpoint. I spend about 50 to 75 bucks a month, or have spent 50 to 75 bucks a month. And I'm also going to be implementing that this week in this particular new territory. The bird dogs, the property scout, these agents and brokers spend their own marketing dollars to generate these particular deals and send it over to us. So just to clarify that, somebody here was asking, do you pay for your bird dogs marketing? No, we don't. No, we don't. We simply provide the training to their network or to the network so that they can start sending us these particular deals. All right, so the general office number, Mike. General office number, I am typing this for you. Look for Tony or Trans Home Solutions. By the way, they also do nationwide credit repair. So if you guys are in a rent-to-own strategy and you're looking for a vendor that you can do business with and refer them, they provide credit repair nationwide. And so they may be able to handle those tenant buyers that you're looking to do deals with. Send privately. Awesome. Tony says, thank you, Gil. Great. So it looks like there's no major questions from the group. Most of you guys are just getting dialed in, shaking off the weekend, and business as usual. Glad to hear that. The group coaching calls today will happen at, Steve, what time are you going live today? Is it 11 o'clock? Did I get that right?
Yeah, it'll be 11 o'clock today.
Okay, 11 o'clock today. Fantastic. Somebody here's asking, Gil, any other free tips that you can recommend? I had a one-on-one with somebody on Friday, and one of the things that I recommended for them, since I am looking to buy deals in an area and it's a new territory, I did recommend to join and jump on the other wholesalers lists in that area. Right? You type in "we buy houses" and the location of the area you are looking to do deals in. Okay, join and sign up on those mailing lists using an email set up specifically for that channel or pipeline of deals. 1 second, guys. Looks like we got broker Julio calling. Let's see what he's got to hear for us today. I'll jump right back into that. Hey, Broker Julio, we are live on the session. Anything urgent? Got it. Perfect. Thank you. It is with regards to the second property we opened escrow on and moving that one forward. So I'll take care of that after the session here. But any one last round of questions, feedback, clarifications? Yes, before I wrap up, I do recommend jumping on other wholesalers' lists so that you can see the type of activity and what's available in the area. Now, if you are a property scout or a bird dog or just getting started, you can use these properties as deals that you can market to your own cash buyers. Okay. Now, I recommend that you contact the wholesaler who has it under contract and inquire if they are open to joint venturing because you have buyers. And there's two basic ways you can go about getting paid or how the money works. You guys can split the wholesale fee that they've already built in, or you can add your fee to the particular price point. It all depends on the wholesaler and the person you're doing business with. Now, if again, if you're just going to simply tack on your fee on there, please provide some extra value and services. Make the lives of your buyers easier. Have all offer to whatever due diligence they need done. Help them out with that. But I do know of other wholesalers that just operate by co-wholesaling deals. Ideally, you simply want to split the fee that's already built in since the numbers have already been worked out, as opposed to simply tacking on your fee. Mike says, thanks. It looks like you guys have each other's contact info. Fantastic. And awesome. Looking forward to this week's session on new markets, continuing our training series. Make sure you're signed up for the other sessions if you do have access to them, especially if you're part of the group coaching component. And otherwise, we'll see you guys live first thing tomorrow at 9 on the next training session. My name is Gil on behalf of Bill, Steve, and all the other content contributors that we have for our daily sessions. Thanks for joining us. Replay will go live today on learntoinvestforfree.com. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.